What are the odds?
Okay, who's going to have nightmares tonight? That was a scene from the upcoming flick 2012. Do not laugh, because a lot of folks out there, they're taking the premise of this movie very seriously, even quitting their jobs because they say, what's the point? Even one Home Depot employee has set up a website for must-have survival tools, all because folks believe the end of the world is going to come beginning in December, 3 years from now. The starting point for all of this is an ancient Mayan calendar. So who better to bring in now than Dr. Edwin Barnhart, who is the director of the Maya Exploration Center. Doctor, welcome, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, can you give us a little bit of background about where this is coming from and why December 2012 is supposedly, according to the Mayans, the end of life as we know it?
Well, that's probably a good place to start. First off, this is really an idea that's coming out of the Western world. Of the thousands of ancient Maya texts we have, none of them say that this is going to be the end of the world. This is an important anniversary in their calendar, but no text tells us that they think it's the end of the world.
Well, I started Googling and trying to find out about this, and there are a lot of people who have very in-depth websites about linking 26,000-year cycle of this to that and where the Mayan calendar ends, and do we kind of fall off the end of the edge of the universe when we hit 2012? Where are people getting this wrong?
Well, 26,000 years is the time that it takes for the stars to precess a full circle of 360 degrees. 1 degree for every 72 years. It's the backdrop of the stars moving as our Earth wobbles and looks out into space. So this one increment of the calendar, if we have it right, is 5,126 years, which is roughly 1/5 of that cycle. So people think that the Maya are predicting the precession of the equinoxes. Now, what that has to do with the end of the world, I'm not sure.
All right, well, it's interesting to note that NASA says in 2012 we could have increased solar flares and sunspots and things that could mess up satellites and some electronics. If that kind of thing starts happening, do you think folks are going to read a little bit too much into it in 2012?
Well, certainly a lot of people will think that it's some sort of testimony to the end of the Maya calendar, but I think when NASA says those things, NASA are government-advocated scientists who are mandated to talk about worst-case scenarios, however statistically unlikely they might be. So we've got a whole sun that, yes, could have a solar flare coming off of anywhere in its sphere. The statistical probability that it would actually shoot off in just the right place to hit the Earth is remote. Add to that the fact that it's not going to cook us. It's about solar radiation that, yes, would really disturb our satellite communications, and this might be an apocalypse for teenage girls who can't post to Facebook anymore, but it's really not going to destroy humankind.
All right, now you mentioned technology there. We're getting word that there's actually now an iPhone app, apparently, that gives you a countdown clock. So in case you want to wake up every day and turn this on and find out how many days you have left, apparently you can do that with an app. Now, we talked about people who are quitting their jobs, building survivalist modes. Any quick one-sentence warning you would give them about going too far with that?
Well, I'd say if you want to take it as Maya wisdom, when we look at what the Maya did at these important cycles that are each 400-year increments, I'd say that the Maya weren't waiting around to be enlightened, and they weren't fearing the end of the world, but they took it as a time to take it upon themselves to change their lives and change the way. They saw these times as a time to change old ways and begin new ones.
All right. Always good advice. Dr. Barnhart, thank you for talking us off the cliff. Thank you, sir.